If you're looking for the best affordable watches of 2025, you have come to the right place, as we will be discussing 8 watches that just can't be beaten in value. From chronographs to Gara to divers, this is the crème de la crème, the absolute best that I have reviewed in 2025. And at the end of the video, I will reveal which was the absolute best value watch of 2025. And in case you want to take a look at the watches, I have put all the links in the description, as well as my full reviews if you want to delve deeper. But right now, and for the last time of the year, let's get right into it. 2025 was still young, its days short and cold, when I was acquainted with a watch that opened my eyes to what Casio, or rather Casio Edifice, can do. The Edifice EFB 730D. Just for clarification, I know this watch was released in late 2024, but I first got to experience it early this year. Forget about plastic constructions, here we are talking a fully 316L stainless steel case, bracelet and caseback, with a level of finishing that rivals anything from entry-level Seiko. The laughably bad Casio bracelets found on entry-level models are just a bad memory, as here we are talking solid links and end links. The lovely Panda or reverse Panda dial gives great 70s vibes, and overall the watch oozes vintage charm and modern quality. The in-house 5742 movement can surprise some new users, as what you would think as a chronograph hand is actually the second hand. The chronograph has been relegated to a sub-dial. Only the press clasp is something that can be reproached to this watch, but at the incredibly fair price of under $150, this is totally forgiven. As spring was blooming, our dreams came true, and Japanese giant Citizen gave us all what we had been demanding for years, a smaller sized Citizen Tsuyosa. Not that anything was wrong with the classic 40mm, but as you know, integrated bracelet watches tend to wear bigger than what the dimensions would suggest. So a 37mm Tsuyosa was a dream come true. Despite a rather strange marketing campaign that aimed these watches at women first, with baby blue and pink dials, this watch quickly found its way to men's wrists, who were clamoring for something smaller. And smaller it was, with 37mm across the dial. And you can count on Citizen for rectifying their mistakes, and quickly came new, more neutral colors and a limited edition, the time split, that was just a home run. All the positives and negatives of the Tsuyosas were still there, besides the size of course, with the cool looks but entry-level automatic movements, sapphire crystal but stamped clasp, decent lume but 50 meters of water resistance. Prices vary on this one. Here in Europe it has settled below the $300 mark, being a little bit more expensive in the USA. But before we continue, if you're having fun or learning something watching this video, it would be extremely helpful if you would consider subscribing. This keeps me motivated to make this kind of content, and it helps me to know that it is the kind of video that you're expecting from me. Thank you very much if you do. Now back to the watches. Spring wasn't even over that tireless Citizen gave us yet another iteration of one of its last successful models, the Zenshin. And they took a risk with this one, as they ditched the dates on the dial. In fact, they ditched a whole variation, the Eco Drive, that many supporters of the V1 had deemed the best of the three. The gamble paid off though, as a result was one of the best looking integrated bracelet titanium watches below $1,000. Some have complained about the dodecagonal bezel, but I believe it just works with this design. An amazingly beautiful, uncluttered dial, finishing on a titanium that would embarrass a $5,000 Tudor Pelagos, and all that for less than $500. At 41mm it may seem rather large, especially with a flat case design, but a very short lug-to-lug make it rather wearable on medium wrists. Some caution is needed though, as some wrists or wrist shapes will not be able to handle this watch. So try before you buy if you can. The Citizen 8233 movement in this watch is also better looking and less noisy than the basic 8210 of the Tsuyosa. The titanium here is protected by Citizen's technology Duratect, although some doubts have been cast over its effectiveness. In any case, I am anxious to see how Citizen will topple this with a possible V3 in 2026. Just as we were starting to feel the heat of summer, Saint Martin decided to crank up the temperature with a release that, according to me, is still their best watch to date, the SN0148. And it didn't start that way. After handling the watch, even though I was mesmerized by the breathtaking Janzhang rabbit hair dial, the design of the watch and hands were just a little derivative for me, borrowing heavily from the Submariner and the Broad Arrow Seamaster. But after settling with this watch for a while, it became one of my favorite and most worn watches of the year. It just feels right and premium in a way other Saint Martins just haven't until this point. The beautiful SN0144 came really close, but was kind of let down by a bracelet that could sometimes feel a bit sharp. Nothing of the sort here, the bracelet is just perfect. Extremely well finished and extremely comfortable. The lume of course is exceptional, and the well-regulated high-beat Miura 9015 ensures a thickness of just over 10 mm. And also, to make matters better, there are two sizes, a 40 mm and a 30.5 mm, which along with the thin profile should wear wonderfully on any medium or small sized wrists. The pricing though could be a problem, as without coupons and promotions, you are looking at almost $400 for this watch. But I guess that is now the price to pay for top quality and original design. And if you live in Europe, the watch is closer to $300 at SKB Watches, and I'll leave you below the discount code that you can use to have it at that price. By September came a true surprise in watchmaking, the first ever mechanical Casio watch on more than 40 years of making wristwatches. It was dubbed the EFK 100D. It came in 4 color combinations, and on paper it had everything to rival with the big boys from Japan and Switzerland. Integrated bracelet construction, great specifications, and coherent pricing. I bought this watch at the hype of September, and it ended up costing me 299 euros, and that's because I wanted the carbon dial. So this rather coherent price set it right against the Tsuyosa, and with 100 meters of water resistance, a sapphire crystal, and an automatic Seiko NH35 movement, it had a lot of arguments in its favor. But something displeased me personally about this watch that almost made me not put it in this list: the wearing experience. With rather large and flat male end links, even at 39mm, the watch wears simply larger than a 40mm Tsuyosa or PRX. Still, it is such a significant watch, and the pricing has come down, so putting it in this list is a must. And right around that time, the end of summer, Saint Martin surprised us with their most Chinese watch to date, the 0144 CG, a true beauty that, contrary to the first SN0144, didn't give us a Janzhang dial, but one with big, elegant Chinese markers. It goes without saying that the numerals were filled with lume, a true wonder which gave us extra airs of exoticism to us Occidentals. Everything we loved about the SN0144 was here. The Miura 9 series movement, the refined construction and finishing. Only that here the bracelet was more comfortable, still not on the level of the SN0148, but much better than the one on the SN0144. But just like the SN1048, the asking price is rather high, but once you know what you're getting in terms of quality and originality, that becomes less of a problem, especially if you get it on a sale. And speaking of sales, the 11 of the 11 was fast approaching, and I was searching the meanders of AliExpress when I fell upon the Boderry Voyager 72. The first version of this watch was a true success because of the cool military design and especially of the full titanium construction for around the $100 mark. This one was just a bit more expensive, and to compensate they gave us a new dial with a honeycomb pattern and with small seconds. And these came courtesy of the new movement. Exit the reliable workhorse Seiko NH35, enter a true gamble, the 72-hour Chinese Hangzhou HZ8240. But Boderry believed in this new movement so much that it named the watch after it. It is, after all, the Voyager 72, and I must say that it is very well decorated. In my watch the accuracy is not wonderful, but it's not catastrophic either. And let's not forget that for just $20 more, you can pick up the version that is coated in ceramic. For $130, that is a lot of features for the money. And here we are, the best bang per buck of 2025. And once again, this was not a watch that was released in 2025, but I got to experience it this year. It is, of course, the Citizen NB1050 that I am wearing right now, that I have worn a lot during this year, because this watch is just amazing. You've got a Gara watch that is extremely well built, a charcoal dial that is just so well refined, markers that are filled with lume but are just so well beveled, a Miura 9015 movement that is just amazingly well decorated here, and that makes it that this watch is only over 10mm in diameter. That, coupled with the 39mm in lug to lug, makes it that it wears extremely well on pretty much any size of wrist, in spite of those male end links that do curve a lot though. The huge real problem with this watch is that it is a JDM model, but that doesn't really matter that much in this day and age, as we have so many platforms where we can get it from. I'm gonna leave you some links where I can find it at the right prices. Remember though that you will pretty much certainly have to pay taxes, but I got mine for around 350 euros, and let me tell you that for this kind of money, even if it were double that, it would be a bargain. It is such a well-built watch from such a reputable brand. We are done with the list, but not with the video, as I wanted to thank you guys so much for supporting the channel during this year. I had lots and lots of fun, and so many cool things are coming in 2026, and I really hope to see you here. So if you haven't, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to leave a like to this video if it was useful for you. And of course, I'm going to leave you here with some other videos that you might enjoy very much about great value watches. Happy New Year to you all. May it bring all that you wish.